The EV winners in 2025 so far. How's the electric vehicle market doing in America so far this year? Well, that depends on what exactly you mean and who you ask. EV sales are up this half, but the most recent quarter isn't looking so pretty. General Motors, crushing it. Tesla, I probably don't even have to say it at this point. My point is, it's a mixed bag. The clean car will not shrivel up and die under President Donald Trump. But getting Americans hooked on EVs isn't proving to be a walk in the park either. And while EV sales generally trended upward for most companies in the past as the market exploded, in 2025 clear winners and losers are emerging. So let's break down the first half of EV sales in America, and what they could look like going forward. What EV sales are like in 2025. I'll start with the glass half full view. EV sales got off to a strong start in the first quarter of this year, growing by more than 10% year over year, according to Cox Automotive. From January through June, EV sales rose 1.5% to roughly 607,000 units, a new first-half record. Get a bit more granular though, and the picture gets less rosy. In Q2, U.S. EV sales dropped by over 6%, according to Cox, to a little over 310,000 units from an estimated 332,000. That was only the third year-over-year decline on record, the firm said. There are a lot of factors at play that could be dragging down sales, and some are company-specific. But some headwinds apply across the board, said Stephanie Valdez-Streety, Director of Industry Insights at Cox Automotive. More EV stories 2026. Subaru Uncharted First Look. An electric crosstrek? The 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid wants to be an EV. So damn bad. There's more work to be done on educating consumers on EVs, she said. There's a lot of consumer unease around the economy and where prices are headed, especially with tariff bombs dropping left and right. It's a lot harder to sell EVs to wary everyday Americans than the tech-obsessed early adopters that lined up for Teslas in years past. Many of those people are leaning into increasingly popular hybrids instead. Not to mention, EVs are simply a new and volatile market, and there are bound to be big swings as they gain traction. I think with any new technology, you have to expect that you're going to have accelerations, decelerations. So I think this is part of it. One potentially troubling stat. EV sales fell in Q2 despite the introduction of over a dozen new models over the last 12 months. Those include the Cadillac Optiq, Volvo X30, and America's first electric muscle car, the Dodge Charger Daytona. Of the 59 electric models that were on sale in Q2 2024, 50 experienced a decline in sales in Q2 2025. According to Lauren McDonald, who tracks the EV industry as chief analyst at the charging data firm Perren, the average sales volume per EV model on the market has trended downward over the last year, his analysis found. As we get more models, and the overall sales pie doesn't grow that much, it means that the individual models are seeing more competition for the same buyers, McDonald said. Who's up in the EV market? The biggest success story so far this year has been General Motors. With a slew of new electric Cadillacs and Chevys on offer, it doubled its EV sales in Q2 and ended the quarter having moved over 78,000 units. Its real hero was the Chevrolet Equinox EV, which has become a hit thanks to its low for EVs, at least $35,000 price point and healthy 319 miles of range. Through the first half of the year, the Equinox EV was the best-selling non-Tesla EV, racking up nearly 28,000 sales. Honda and Acura also posted big gains. They were basically non-factors at the beginning of last year, and have been burning up the sales charts with the Prologue and ZDX, respectively. Valdez-Streety notes that the biggest winners in Q2, like these cars, probably benefited from hefty manufacturer incentives to boost sales. In a way, this is another win for GM, since the Prologue and ZDX are built by the Detroit automaker using its platforms. Stellantis, parent to Chrysler, Dodge and Jeep, was up by over 11,000 units too, but that's because it had no EV presence to speak of this time last year. The Charger Daytona and Jeep Wagoneer S just went on sale. At the Volkswagen Group, strong sales of the new Porsche Macan EV and Audi Q6 e-tron outweighed weaker sales for other models, and the Nissan Ariya crossover served as a boon to that brand, as it awaits the next generation leaf. Who's down in the EV market? Tesla, far and away the industry leader, saw the biggest drop. It sold 31,000 fewer EVs in the first half than it did during the same period last year, Cox said. What's more, Tesla still makes up nearly half of America's EV market, so its troubles or successes have an outsized influence on the broader picture. If you take Tesla out of the equation, EV sales would have been up 14% year-to-date, Valdez Streety said. Source: reposted and summarized from Tim Levin at insideevs.